Hey, what's good? It's your boy Eric, aka E with Sizmic Media. Today I'm going to be coming to you with another color grading tutorial. Today I'm color grading the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K footage. Now, I don't own this camera. I'm just color grading some of the test footage on Blackmagic's website, the sample footage that they have up there. Anybody can go and download it. I really want to see, for one, how well does the camera hold up, the footage anyway, and two, can my computer even handle this footage? So stay tuned as I test that and y'all follow along and see if we can do it. I bring the footage into my timeline and the very first thing I notice is the footage looks pretty saturated for the Blackmagic raw footage. I'm positive, I know according to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema, the original one that I own, if you shoot in RAW, then you have to shoot in film mode. So I'm assuming it's gonna be the same for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and 6K. But looking at this footage, I mean, that's a good bit of color in there. I mean, looking at music videos these days, I mean, hell, this looks just like them. I mean, the color grade and everything. But I'm gonna come into the camera raw settings and I'm gonna bring this to clip. White balance, I'm pretty sure that they nailed the white balance. I mean, this is their sample footage, so I'm positive they brought in, I mean, the cream of the crop to shoot it. But switching to daylight, tweaked a little bit, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's fine. I'm gonna white balance it manually anyway though. Color space, Blackmagic Design and the gamut of Blackmagic Design extended video. That could be the issue I'm having. Well, no, because I had to actually change it to clip when I had to decode it. So I'm gonna move this to Blackmagic Design film. Okay, that looks a little bit more like what I'm used to it actually looking like. But keep it at extended video just to see. You know what? I'm grading this the way I understand it. So it's gonna be Blackmagic Design film. All right. Throw on highlight recovery. Very few of the highlights for clip. You can see I'm getting a little bit movement right up in here. I'm guessing right here in this cloud is giving me a little bit of extra, but I mean, very little. But Alt S, create a couple new nodes. So I'm gonna come to the second node. And normally what I would do is I would adjust exposure to get things kind of exposed how I want it properly. But I already know that the first thing people are gonna comment is like, no, you have to white balance it first. Now for me, it's much easier to white balance once I actually got my exposure corrected. But you know, just to keep it true to form for you like color grading snobs out there, no offense, I'm gonna go ahead and white balance it first. So right here, I'm gonna change the gain. I'm gonna bump reds up a little bit because essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to get my scopes to actually line up and be balanced right up in here. As you can see, reds was a little low, so I bumped them up just a bit. In gamma, I'm bringing the reds down just a tad, push my blue up just a bit. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm just stretching each color to kind of match exposure, if that makes any sense. Because I'm tweaking it color by color. It's too much green so you can actually see that. Then I'm gonna go up a little bit in the red. Now, according to my scope, it should be about white balanced. Now, I'm gonna come to this third node here, and I'm about to tweak my exposure as I normally do. That's what I would have did first, actually. But what I'm gonna do is crush my blacks a little bit. I'm not gonna completely crush them, but I'm gonna just bring them down. Then my gain, I'm bumping up a little bit because it seems a little underexposed. Well, normally they tell you exposed to the right on Blackmagic cameras. Look like they just kind of nailed exposure for middle gray more so, anything. Just gotta keep this pretty close here. Now, fourth tab. Now, if I was actually color grading this seriously, I'd actually name these nodes. That way I actually know what I'm doing on each one. But in the order that I normally go in, it would be exposure, white balance, and then color. Well, saturation, however you want to title it. And come into this node here. This tab. And then I bring up my reds, my greens, and my blues. And this brings in the saturation. Already, it's just good looking footage. Now, I know it's sample footage, but in a real world scenario, of course, somebody would have not nailed exposure, underexposed a little bit, white balance a little bit off, but this footage is pretty technically perfect. 6K footage, raw, it's playing pretty good. Like, it's not heavily graded or anything, but that I'm getting 16 frames per second, up to 18 frames per second at times on 24 frames per second footage. That's pretty good. But I know it is the new Blackmagic RAW, so I guess it works a little bit better in DaVinci Resolve. I have tested it, of course. I don't own a camera with Blackmagic RAW. Eventually, I'll be getting the Ursa or Blackmagic Pocket 4K. Probably not the 6K, because if I'm going to shell out the money for the 6K, I'm just getting the Ursa Mini 4.6. But yeah, it's playing really good. Okay, right up in here, I don't know if the exposure changed or maybe they moved out the way. But yeah, oh yeah. It wasn't showing that part earlier. So make sure I have highlight recovery on, yeah. Now, what's weird though, this camera is, oh no, well, it's shot in RAW, so it doesn't matter. ISO is just metadata at that point. But I don't remember what the native ISO on the Blackmagic 4K and 6K cameras are. I know it's a dual native ISO, but I don't remember what either of those numbers were. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to a new node, and what I'm gonna do is qualify skin tones. And I'm gonna push a little bit of color into the skin tones, and then I'm gonna push a little coolness into everything else. Just kind of create that teal orange effect. And what I'll do is come right here to qualifier, come to the magic wand to see what I'm actually qualifying. And get a little bit of the skin tone. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of this away. Then I'm gonna feather in some of this so it's not too harsh. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to the actual color wheels, go into gamma, just a little bit. Orange, red, kind of into those tones. And right click on this last node, add a outside node. So that's pretty much going to be everything else other than what I qualified in this previous node. So right here, I'm going to come down to gamma, and then I'm going to pull it a little bit towards the teal. You can see that all of that denim that they have on is actually changing the very most. But I'm getting a little color fringing right here. Some of these points that didn't really qualify well. It's just gonna be like knuckle area, some of his palm. So I don't want to push it real hard. I'll come over here to lift and push a little bit more teal into the shadows. Now let me go back into this previous node, qualify. Let me see if I can get a little bit of this little point in her, the bend in her elbow. Yeah, that looked like it did. See if I can get a little bit more color in there. Make them totally orange people. Nah, I'm not gonna do that though. It's good right up in there. And this is good right up in there. And that denim that they have on is like really popping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new node. Come here to the curve and go hue versus saturation. And what I'm gonna do is make these 2 points right up in here. And I'm gonna pull a little saturation out of the color blue. Alright. Then also what I'm gonna do is everything outside of skin tones I'm gonna darken just a little bit. That way we can kind of make the skin tones pop. Let's see how that looks. Drop down. A little contrasted. And now let's see how it plays. Getting some color fringe, and especially like right here, like in that lens flare, it's kind of throwing off. Like you can tell, like every time my hand passes it, like it's kind of unnatural. And plus back here, some of this is being picked up as skin tones. So if I was doing this for a client or actually doing like high quality color grading and not just kind of testing footage, I'd actually go in and fix that. Or we could mask off like parts of the body and then do a tracking node, but no, I'm not getting into all of that right now. Come to this next footage. What I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna grab a still from here, and what that's gonna allow me to do is once we grab the still, it's actually gonna grab pretty much every change that we made right up in here. So when we come to this next node, if I wanted to, if everything was exposed the same and everything was shot the same, I could come in and apply grade, and boom, pretty much everything that we did in the previous clip is going to be done in this clip, which I mean it still looks pretty good actually. I was worried it wasn't going to look because it's exposed different. Now looking at her shoulder right up in here, she has on a black shirt and it's kind of orange up in here. Let me disable this node real quick. Oh nope, that's all of them. And what I'm concerned about is on the Blackmagic Pocket and the early Blackmagic Ursa 4K. I don't think the Ursa 4.6K has this issue, but they don't have an IR filter in the sensor itself. So you get some IR pollution in a lot of the blacks, especially when you use a heavy ND, and then it creates like this weird orange cast in some of the blacks. I don't use a IR cut filter in a lot of my footage, and I deal with that issue a lot, and I just kind of try to fix it in post, but it becomes a problem sometimes, especially when you're doing client work and then a black shirt just kind of turns orange or brown on you. It looks kind of funny, and that's what that looked like it's doing, but I think it's really just my grade, because when I disable that node while I push the orange in, I'm not seeing it. So yeah, it's nothing to be alarmed with.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I'm amazed at how 6K footage is in RAW is playing so well on this computer. I have a super modest computer. Like my computer has an i7 processor, but it's like an old i7 with like 3.4 gigahertz. I think it's 3775 or something like that. But it's definitely nothing special. It's like a $80 to $100 CPU. And my GPU is just an NVIDIA 970, which is 2 gigabytes virtual memory. And so, I mean, again, nothing special. I mean, what it is pretty much a cheap gaming computer. But, I mean, it seems to be handling this footage really well. I mean, if you can edit 6K raw on a cheap gaming rig like this, I mean, what else do you ask for? Let's see if I can. Now, you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this footage. I'm gonna delete my grade and just keep my regular color correction. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply some LUTs just to see how this footage holds up. I have a couple LUT packs from Triune, however. And let me just apply Captain America Civil War. See how that looks.
Yep. Yep.
Captain America. Looks pretty cool if it was going for that look. I mean, for that look. Now, I used the standard version because I already color corrected it and got everything exposed pretty much to Rec 709 standard. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete all of these, create a new node, and apply the log version of that LUT just to see how that handles. Captain America Civil War. Different. Different look. Alright. Let's tweak some of this footage here. Let's go into Blackmagic Camera Raw set here. The clip, white balance, as shot or daylight. I'm gonna say daylight. Color space. Blackmagic design. Still on extended video. I'm gonna go into, because I've never used a camera, one of the Blackmagic cameras with the extended video setting, so I'm gonna tweak this a little bit. Man, what that does is it gets you closer to Rec 709. But, oh man, it's storming out here. But it gets you closer to the Rec 709 look, but you have the dynamic range of essentially the film gamma. And so, I mean, pretty much that makes it a little bit easier to color grade and color correct while still giving you that same dynamic range film look. And I mean, I guess it's supposed to be easier for somebody doing, I guess, commercial work and quick turnaround videos or stuff like that. But I'm probably never ever going to use that. But let's see how it handles. I'll color grade this my way. Go in, I'm gonna tweak the gamma, get it where I want it. I'm not gonna say anything, but I am thinking that there's some IR pollution in this shirt. I don't know. We'll see. I wish this footage wasn't so technically perfect, where I'd actually have to fix something in post. But, that's what you deal with when you're dealing with sample footage. Put some of the colors into it. I can't really tell. I don't know if that's IR pollution or just a little bit of the sun hitting the black shirt. Oh well. Alright, now. White balance. It looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit too much red in the. Alright. Alright. Now let's come down here. So if we can give it that super warm Mexico look that like all the films give Mexico. Let's take some of this saturation out of the greens because apparently there's no color in Mexico or New Mexico. Now these blues as well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bump up the yellows and the reds. Getting the node. Going to the regular curves. I'm gonna do kind of crush black. Bring them up right here. Don't bring up highlight. Alright. This note I'm gonna bring down the saturation a little bit too. Set up in here. Push that there. And I know it defeated the whole purpose, but this one. Now I'm gonna push gamma back. A little bit into the orange. And then I'm gonna go into my offset wheel. And just kind of push it here. Push those highlights higher because in every one of those scenes, like in Breaking Bad, everything seemed to be exposed real high. I'm guessing like the real bright sun. So I was trying for the shot. I think I missed, but oh well. Looking good. Check my OBS, make sure everything is good. Yep, still recording. Which is another thing. I'm pushing 6K Blackmagic RAW footage, color grading it. Not grading it super heavy, but I'm grading it pretty decent. And it's still playing good, even with OBS running in the background, recording everything that I'm doing. I'm impressed, like really impressed, because my regular 1080p Blackmagic RAW footage don't run this smooth when I'm color grading it. So, I mean, they've done some work. Go to this next clip. Not even giving me the option to change the color signs. On my Blackmagic, my original one, I can choose between Generation 1, which that's what the camera was, and Generation 4. But I can't revert this one back to Generation 1 color signs, which is crazy because it seemed like shooting in RAW, it's just data. But I guess with the Blackmagic RAW and this camera, it's baked in. So, I'm not sure about that. That extended video, I mean, I don't know why anybody would want that unless you're just absolutely not color grading your own footage. It's weird. I'm fumbling through this. Every time I update DaVinci Resolve, I swear to change my layout out different until something different. And I just had to actually upgrade because I was running, I think, 15, and it didn't understand or interpret the Blackmagic raw footage, so like I couldn't load it. So I had to update it before I actually did this. Some harsh sun on her face. I wonder how this gonna handle this. If I come back in, highlight recovery, when can I pull some of that back? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, the data's there. Got it colored. See if I can, just here. Trying to create a little contrast without clipping. Alright. I'm gonna come to the hue versus saturation, and I'm just gonna tone down everything but the reds. Keep the skin tones, but everything else will be toned down. Push down like here. Yeah, they handheld.
Right.
Sorry. I was curious what the rolling shutter would look like. It's not horrible. I can see it a little bit. And of course, it's not an actual test, but
Thank you.
not like my A6300 was. I'll grab a still of this, then bring this over here to this footage.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's.
Overexposed a bit. See if I can pull some of that back down. Yeah, I mean, it's all there. Man, it's really not clipping these highlights. Alright, let's see. Bring some more of this shadow up. Alright, so the exposure values are there. Let's see if the color values are actually there. Let me disable this node. You know, I'm gonna bring this node back and just push the color up. It's there. It's a bit underexposed right up in here, but it's still maintaining some of the color values, and it's not noisy or anything like that. So I mean, it's good. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This will be drastically underexposed in these areas. Let's see if it maintains some of that data. Data. Oh no. Delete this node. This node was this. Delete that node. Color, exposure, reset, reset, reset. I'll just completely work with curves here. This looks good. The footage, not my grade, because I hadn't done anything yet. Alright, reset this. I'm gonna push the blacks down a good little bit. I'm gonna crush the blacks, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick it back up and give it like a low contrast film look. I'm gonna push up, highlight. Did I do highlight recovery? Yep, it's on there. New node, curve, hit you with the then the Let me see if I can still create a little contrast in his face though. Really yellow when I push this in there.
Go. Alright. Let's go for it. Just go for a stroll down that way.
Looks good. Like this camera. And let's see if I can actually get some of that blue in there. Make that blue pop. Oh, okay. Hue versus hue. I'm like, what did that just do? Hue versus saturation. A little something. The blues in there. Got those blues popping. And then bam, we're gonna take this footage and then we're gonna slap a LUT on top of it. 3 LUT. Let's go full skyfall. Alright. It's still playing really well. It's like really, guys, I'm really saturated. Grab a still of this. In this last clip, just slap this clip on top of it. Bam! Apply grade. Looks horrible. Delete this. LUT. Take that back. Yeah, okay, show me some of that. Okay, it's clipping the highlights in there. Is that savable? Let's see. Can we save those highlights? No. Those highlights aren't savable. I mean, overall, man, I really like the footage coming from this camera. And it's really clean. I'm not seeing like a lot of grain. So knowing like the original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema that I have, the grain is there. It's just part of the camera. It's an organic looking grain, so I mean it looks real clean. Well, not clean, but look real good and nice, pleasing to the eye. But I had the Blackmagic Production Cam 4K, and that thing was a monster dealing with. If I underexposed it just a little bit, I understand it was a totally different type of camera. It was meant to be in a studio, meant to be a full-blown production where everything is lit and everything is exposed 100% properly. But If I tried to do any running gun with a production camera 4K, it got noisy, real noisy, been grain everywhere. Like in any spot that was slightly underexposed. Even in properly exposed scenes, like if you look at the shadows and you just focus in on the shadows, the noise was there. It was always there. And if you push the shadows just a little bit in post, it got ugly. Then I dealt with some fixed pattern noise issues, but just owning a camera for a while, I learned how to deal with it. But it's unfortunately in the graveyard. The DC power input on it died, and Blackmagic wanted about $600 to fix it, and I wasn't about to put $600 into a camera that was pretty much obsolete. So I'm thugging it right now with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera Original, and I'm probably milking it for everything it's worth right now, getting the most out of the image quality. But I love it as a camera. But I'm pretty much done with this footage. I think it held up well, like I say. If you like what I do, if you like my personality, if you like my color grading, if you think that my skills are warranted for looking at my footage and my content again, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hey, it's your boy Eric, aka E Sheila with Sizmic Media, and I'm out.